Shall we start? All ready, right? Okay. Can you see the slides? Is it clear to you?
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay. So we'll be discussing on reorder paragraphs today. Okay. This is one of the tasks. I would say one of the 5 tasks of your reading section. In reading section, those who haven't taken PDE before here, anyone there who hasn't taken PDE? Beautiful. So in your reading section, there are 5 tasks: 2 types of fill in the blanks, 2 types of multiple choice questions, and reorder paragraph. So today we will be discussing on reorder paragraph. So can anybody tell me what is it? What do you understand by the name? Reorder paragraphs? Yeah, to reorder the paragraphs. That means?
Sentences are not in order.
Sentences of the paragraphs, they are not in order. You have to reorder them correctly. Alright? In PDE, in your Pearson test, every paragraph will come in a box. Like this. For those who haven't taken the test before. Okay, so every paragraph will come in a box. So basically you have to rearrange or reorder some boxes correctly. Make sense? How important the task is for your reading section? Any idea? Your fill in the blanks is the highest prioritized task, then reorder paragraph, then multiple choice question. This particular section only contributes to your reading. It does not contribute to any other section. Alright? And in terms of the percentage, I would say it contributes 15% of your total reading score. 1-5. Alright? Okay. So task, like I said, several boxes will appear on the screen of the computer that you are giving a test. And you have to rearrange or reorder those boxes. Skills assessed is reading. Obviously, if I give you something to read, and if you feel like it's not so logical, it does not have the passage, doesn't have coherence, alright? Number 3 should come before number 2. If you feel that this is in wrong order, and if you can do it, if you can make it in correct order, that reflects the reading ability that you have. That's what it judges or assesses. Okay? The length of the task, 150 words. That means the question that you will get, total number of words would be around 150. Alright? That means it is not that long. Number of questions. You will get 2 to 3 questions. A minimum number of 2 and maximum number of 3 questions. You can ask me a question. Do all of the questions have the same marks?
No.
Obviously not. I'll make it more detailed later on. Just before that, I want to discuss about the marking criteria. How does it mark you? How does it give you a mark? It gives you a mark in terms of pair. So if you make a correct pair, that gives you 1 mark for each correct pair. Let's say there is a paragraph which has 5 sentences and the correct sequence is A, B, C, D, E. That is the correct answer, let's say. How many pairs can you make out of these 5 sentences? 4.
Yeah.
Number of pairs is always 1 less than the number of total sentence. Okay? What are your pairs? A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E. Right? So if you get this pair correct, you get 4 out of 4. Let's say your answer is you actually have placed A in right position, C in right position, and E in right position. Good, first position, middle, and last. You just have jumbled out these 2. How much you get now? 0. Although you have placed 3 sentences in right place. What does it mean? That means placing the sentences in right position does not give you mark. It gives mark only if you can make a right pair. Let's say that A, B, C, D was your answer, but your answer is B, C, D, E, A. None of the sentences are in right place, but you will get 3 out of 4. Because this is your right pair, right pair, right pair. Alright? So what is our objective? Our objective is to get the pair correct, rather than looking for the position of the sentence. Alright? Okay. Recommended time, to solve each question is 2 to 2.5 minutes. That means if you have 3 questions, you should not take more than 2 to 2.5 minutes to solve each question. Not all of them, each question, 2 to 2.5. Okay, so if I give you a question, let me ask you, if I give you a question of your paragraphs and that has 5 sentences, how would you guys solve it? Any idea? How? I give you a question. How would you solve it? Obviously, let's say I have given you a question to solve. How would you solve it? You have to make them in right order. So what do you have to do that? Obviously start making pairs by what? By writing?
No,
by reading. So what you will read?
Reading?
Yes, you can do skimming, scanning, but how would you do it? Obviously you skim, scan, read everything, right? So what do you have to do first out of those 5 sentences?
Look for the dependent sentence.
Topic.
So you have to find out the topic sentence. So to find out the topic sentence, what do you have to do? You have to read 5 sentences. To read 5 sentences, how long it might take? 30 seconds? You can never read 5 sentences in 30 seconds.
Probably a minute.
Probably a minute. Then you have found out the topic sentence. That's the first sentence, A. Then what do you have to do to find out B? You either have to read the 4 sentences, try to make logic, which has more logic to come after A. After A. What about C?
Is it okay to see B?
How long it takes altogether? Do you think 2 to 2.5 minutes is enough?
No.
How long it should take?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Can we have 5 minutes to solve each reorder paragraph? Why not make it more interesting? I want you guys to solve reorder paragraphs in 1.5 minutes maximum. Irrespective of the number of sentences you get, 3, 4 or 5, whatever it is. Usually you'll get 4 and 5. But the objective is to solve reorder paragraphs in less than 1.5 minutes. Can we do that?
There must be a technique.
What's the technique?
I don't know. That's very good, yeah.
Okay. So I want to avoid reading every sentence. To be very specific. I just don't want to read every sentence very, very rigorously or carefully or with concentration. I don't want to do it because that will take time. That will take my 5 minutes. Right? What's the purpose of, bringing that down to 1.5 minutes? Now, what's the purpose of this? How would it benefit you?
Having time to check the answers.
For filling the blanks. Okay? Let's say filling the blanks reading and writing section, you will have 25 to 36 gaps. You will get 5 to 6 questions. The number of gaps altogether in total will be from 25 to 36. Let's say it's 30 in the middle. So you will have some blank, that's 5 blanks, which has 30 gaps altogether. If you can save 1 minute from each reorder paragraph, if you get 3 reorder paragraphs, how much time you can save? 3 minutes, that means 180 seconds, right? So if you have 30 fill in the blanks, that means 30 gaps, that means you can actually have 6 more seconds to think about each gap. That is 180 seconds. So what you can do in 6 seconds? You can read more words. You can think about more. You can think more about the answer. So if you can allocate 6 more seconds in each fill in the blanks, it is a huge advantage you can provide yourself. You will take the time from the other paragraph. Okay. So now, who hasn't taken PTE test before? This is what it will look like in the exam on the screen of the computer. So this is your question. Like I said, every paragraph or sentence will come in a box. Okay? And this is your answer box. You have to transfer those boxes in right order in that box. Okay? Good thing is, you can initially transfer and then you can change the order there as well. Okay? Let's say this is your first sentence. Okay? How would you transfer that box? You can simply click on the box. You can use the right arrow. It will go there. It will be transferred. Right? In that case, in that way, you can transfer 5 sentences like that. Right? Now, before clicking to the next question or before finalizing, if you feel like number 4 should come or number 4 and 5 should interchange their position, okay, you click on number 4, you just use the down arrow. Or the other way, you click on number 5, use up arrow. You also can drag and drop the boxes here as well. You can move the boxes with the cursor. Easy? Alright. Now, if I tell you guys to solve this particular question, there are 5 sentences, give me the answer. What you guys will do? You read it, try to make sense, then again. But at the end of the lecture, you should be able to give me the answer in this way. When you say this he, can you read it? Oh, good. When you say it's he, and you find this Dr. Byron, you give me the answer E and A is a pair. When you say women, and the women, you will give me that B and C is a pair. D automatically comes last. How many words I have looked into? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have given my answer. So I'll basically look into some words, not the full sentence. What kind of words, what kind of clues? Obviously we will discuss about those.
How you place the D in the last position? It can be in between
How?
A and D, right?
How?
And you have put D in the bottom of.
So we want to put D where?
It can be in between A and B, right?
How? You place D here. What is the A? Read it. He convinced Professor Fitzgerald of the University of Hull to set up a study into this matter. So he convinced this person, this doctor, he convinced the professor to set up a study. No link was found between acting. What about those study? These 2 sentences talked about the study. So you can't jump into the conclusion without saying what was those research. What was the result? What did they do? Okay?
So in all the paragraphs, the sentence which is not linking has to come at the end.
Yeah, obviously. And if you put that sentence at the end, you just try to make logic of that pair, the very last pair. Right? It will be logical anyway, because there is a left out sentence. Alright? Any question? No question?
So the 5th sentence is the left out sentence. Oh.
Not always. Not always. Okay? Only if you have got the first one correct, you don't need to verify the last one. That's the thing. Okay? Now, before going to the strategies part, I want to discuss about some skills. Right? The 6 skills that Pearson wants a student to develop. Okay? So they want that these 6 skills a student should have to solve the reorder paragraphs. What are those 6 skills? Number 1, identifying the topic. So when I give you a question, you should be able to identify the topic of the question. Identify the theme of the question. Number 2, identifying the supporting idea. It's not only the topic of the main idea, but also you should identify the supporting idea. If I say Sydney is the largest city of Australia, Sydney has many people coming from different parts of the world. My second sentence. Third sentence, Sydney is a city of multiculturalism. There are a lot of different cultural food, subcontinental food. Alright, there are a lot of buildings, restaurants, right? All people of Sydney live happily together. So I have spoken about 5 sentences. All the sentences have the word Sydney. That means Sydney is my topic. Okay. So, but out of these 5 sentences, what is my main topic? What is my main sentence? That is my first sentence. There are some main idea, there are some supporting idea, right? So which sentence contains the main idea? And what sentence contains the supporting idea? The sentence which introduces me to the topic, that is my main idea. That means that is the topic sentence. Sydney is the largest city of Australia. What is Sydney? It's a city. What kind of city? The largest city. Where? In Australia. Now I kept on talking about Sydney. Sydney's people, Sydney's food, culture, building, lot of stuff. These are all supporting points. So you should identify what are the supporting ideas and what is the main idea. Number 3, you should be able to identify the relationship between your main and supporting idea. So which supporting idea comes after the main idea, right? Number 4, you should be able to understand the difference between connotation and denotation. We all know what is connotation and denotation is, right?
No.
Do we know?
No.
Okay. Do you want to know?
Yes.
Alright. This denotation, it is the literal or exact meaning of a word that you find in the dictionary. That means, you don't know a meaning of a word, you try to search it in dictionary or on Google or in your application, the meaning that you find, that is your denotation or denotative meaning. So what is connotative?
Shows connection words.
Mm-hmm.
Which is showing some connection.
No.
The sentence. The meaning of the sentence.
Kind of. Almost. That means it does not have the exact meaning. Right? Rather, I would say it has an abstract meaning created by the speaker or by the writer. Can you come up with an example? I'll come up with a very easy and funny example you will never forget. What is this word? Who doesn't know the meaning of this word? You all know, right? Dog is an animal. It's like you can say it has 4 feet. A tail. Right? Now, if I write or if I speak, I'm talking about my friend. He is such a dog. So what did I try to say? He's an animal, he has 4 feet and a tail. Right? No? Okay, I didn't. Then what I tried to say? He's an idiot. Yeah, very good. He's a stupid person. He has some behavioral issues. Okay? So in this particular sentence, the meaning of dog is not actually the exact meaning, right? Rather, I have created a meaning, which is abstract, and that is my connotation. Connotative meaning. Yeah? You can write another sentence. Nothing feels like home. We often say it, right? So when I said nothing feels like home, what's the meaning of home? Usually, a house, a building where we live, right? Something like that. If I say, look, nothing feels like home, that means nothing feels like building. Right? So what does it mean?
Relaxing. Comfort, relax.
Yeah, kind of. Nothing feels like family. Right? So here I'm trying to say, home means family. That is a connotative meaning. Alright? Sometimes you may find a subject which has a connotative meaning rather than the denotative. Alright? Number 5 and 6, I make it very simple. Number 5 is, you have to guess the meaning of some words. Because you cannot memorize all the words, right? So you obviously will come across some words you don't know the meaning of. So you have to guess the meaning looking at the context of the sentence. Number 6, if there are multiple information given in the Reorder paragraph, you should be able to correlate those information or the flow of information in terms of events or years. Let's say something happened in 1995, and then the same occurrence was happening in 2005 again. So which comes first? How do you relate those information? Okay, in terms of events, how many times it has occurred, right? So in terms of events or years, how do you relate information? Alright, these 6 skills you should have. Now, how would you build up these skills? Obviously, we'll practice on those. Irrespective of the fact that whether you have those skills or not, as long as you can solve a Reorder paragraph correctly, it shows that you have these skills. Here's just not going to come and cross-check your skills in the exam, right? They're not going to give you a certification for that. But as long as you can do it, as long as you can solve it correctly, obviously, that means you have those skills. They're more than happy with you. Alright? Now, what are those strategies? Before going to the strategies part, remember I told you guys, I don't want to have you guys more than 1.5 minutes to solve Reorder paragraphs, right? And to do that, we'll do 2 things. We'll not read, but we'll do skimming and scanning. Can you tell me what are these? What is skimming in reading and what is scanning in reading?
Skimming is like just like first 2 lines for a paragraph. Going through the words also, that's it.
You will have multiple paragraphs, you will have 5 paragraphs, let's say. So what do?
Just like find the first line of each paragraph, what it's trying to say. Because most of the time they have a sporting article in a paragraph.
And scanning? Okay, basically skimming and scanning means, I tell you, skimming means having a quick overview of the passage or of the question. Okay, try to find some keywords. And scanning is try to find a link between words. Okay, like I said, a bit more specific. Yes, I'll give you an analogy for your paragraph. Okay, what is skimming and what is scanning? I have made it a bit different. Okay, but like I said, I will use these 2 techniques to do 2 things. One, I will find out a pair out of those 5 sentences or 4 sentences. Simultaneously, I will find out the topic sentence. That means I will find out of those 2 sentences in a pair which comes first, which goes next. I will find that together by just skimming and scanning. Alright, now how? Okay, so I want to use a different, I want to use a verb of that word skim. Okay, skimming means having a quick overview, but what does skim mean? What does it mean, skim? Any idea? Does anyone drink skim milk here? Kind of. Does anyone drink? Or all of you guys are like me, who drink? Huh? Okay, so even if you don't drink it, can you tell me what is this skim milk? What's the difference between the full cream and skim milk? Less fat. Okay, that means the skim milk has less fats. When I do skimming in your paragraphs, I will take out those fats from the sentences. That means sentences have some fats. Okay? So when I do the skimming, remember I will extract the fats from the sentence. All good? I'll tell you guys what are those fats. When I do the scanning, I'll try to find out the link. That means I'll try to find out some words that has the relationship together in between themselves. I'll try to find out those word clues. Okay, those word clues will give me a pair. And those skimming will tell me in that pair which sentence comes first. Easy peasy. Now, like I said, finding a topic sentence, although I believe that you will never have to find it, okay? But, as this is a term, let me have a discuss about this, okay? What is this topic sentence? Any idea? That can stand alone itself? Very, very difficult term. It's not getting into my brain, eh?
Independent.
Independent? What is an independent sentence?
Complete meaning within itself.
It has complete meaning within itself. How do you know? It has complete meaning.
With keywords.
Doesn't look for other sentence together.
It's hyphen with other sentence.
These are all very academic definition or characteristics. Make it simple.
Easy to understand?
It talks about the topic of the paragraph. Sydney is the largest city of Australia. Sydney has many people coming from different parts of the world. Sydney has foods, restaurants, buildings. Sydney has opera house. All the sentences have the word Sydney. All the sentences are independent. All the sentences are a statement. Then what is my topic sentence? Which one? Sydney. That is city, but why? Because? Excellent. Because it introduced me with Sydney for the very first time in that particular sentence. So the topic sentence will introduce you with the topic. It's not like a topic sentence has the topic. There may be 10 sentences having the same topic. But the sentence which introduces the topic for the very first time, that is your first sentence. Understand? Alright? Tell me, out of these 3 sentences, which is the topic sentence, and also give me the order.
BSc.
BSc. Can you tell me why B is your first sentence?
Because I'm interested in introducers.
Because it introduces.
Introduces whole what?
Whole paragraph.
Whole paragraph?
Whole topic.
Whole topic like SPS.
You mean to say subject?
Subject, yeah.
So it is introducing me with the subject. Okay? And then?
Followed by the let's say the most of students of SPS is again they recommend this is the same topic and bring explain the explanations.
Yeah, kind of. Okay? Now I want to say SPSC. What is SPSC? Any idea? Yeah. CDPD Study Center is one of the most popular coaching institutes in Australia. Most of the students of SPSC are getting their desired score nowadays. Its owners are now planning to open a new branch in Perth. How about the other sentences related to the topic sentence too? It is the most popular coaching institutes in Australia. Most of the students who are part of the coaching institutes, its owners are planning to open a new branch in Perth, which is in Australia. So other than reading the full sentence, can you find out some other clues?
Australia is the largest for the part of it.
Very good. So if you find two sentences, one sentence carries the word Australia, the other one carries the word Perth. Which sentence comes first? The sentence that has Australia. It doesn't have to be a pair, but that sentence will come first in your sequence. There is no doubt about that. Okay? If that's your subject, for example. If there is a name, let's say that man was born in Perth, then if it started with that man, obviously that you have to talk about that man. You have to look at that factor. But usually, if it's about location, for example, your Australia will always come first before Perth. And then again, students are part of the coaching institutes. For example, students are part of the university. So university will come first, then the students. Right? Now, look, then again, you actually have read the full sentence, which I don't want because it takes time. Now, we'll quickly jump to the strategies that I don't want to waste time, but I want to be correct. How? Number one, I'm going to talk about finding a pair. This is number one. Two easiest but most effective ways of finding a pair are from these two clues. Number one, object of the first sentence becomes the subject of the next sentence or the second sentence. This is, I'll give you a handout anyway. You don't need to waste your storage, right? I'll give you a handout. Okay, so this is a style of academic writing. So you start with let's say you are writing something, the way you end, you start from there. If I ask you to write about university, let's say you have started with the name of your university, then you are writing that we have 120 teachers, all teachers are highly qualified. Right? So there is a link. We have 120 teachers, you finish with teachers, all teachers are highly qualified. You cannot say we have 120 teachers, all the students go to the canteen every day. It is grammatically right, but not coherent. Doesn't make any sense. Right? So, your object of the first sentence will become the subject of the next. John was bored and planned to play video game. The game he played, or the game was about an ancient war. So these two sentences can be a pair. Because you ended the video game with the object, and then you started with that game. Now, if you see, out of those four sentences, right, there is an object here which actually has become a subject. Let's say there are students, or a student, and you also found the student. You know that A and B is a pair. All good?
Yeah.
Not only subject and object, sometimes what will happen, your second half of one sentence can be your first half of the other sentence. Let's say the second half or some parts of the second half can be your first half of one or of the other sentence. In that case, you know that A and C is a pair. So when you skim, if you find the same types of words are repeated, one in the number one sentence, in the last part, and the other in number C, at the very beginning, you know that A and C is a pair. Number two, direct what to. So both the sentences of a pair will carry the same types of word or same word. I'll give you an example. Let's say out of these 4 sentences, the first sentence has the word port. The second sentence has the word city. Third sentence has the word building and restaurants. Fourth sentence has the word, let's say, river or ocean. Now, out of these 4, looking at the types of word, you know that A and D is a pair. B and C is a pair. Okay? Now, you can ask me, so out of A and D, I know that A and D are similar kinds of words, but which sentence comes first? How do I know? The sentence which has no fact. Which has no facts. Right? If out of A and B, let's say there is a fact here, that will come next. Mine, D will come first, or the other way. Okay? At the moment, just understand that I don't want facts. Okay? Sometimes there will be some direct what to. For example, let's say it talks about health and safety. So it can talk about WHO in first sentence, maybe the last sentence, it has WHO. Similar kinds of word, or same word, right? So those two will be paired. Then again, which comes first? The one which doesn't have facts. Now, what are those facts? Which sentence comes first? Alright? To identify that which sentence comes first, I have to know which sentence will never come first. That means a sentence which can never come first, that is my second sentence. Right? What kind of sentence can never be your first sentence? Any idea?
Conclusion. Conclusion.
Obviously conclusion, but what kind of sentence conclusions are?
Cannot stand its own.
Independent, dependent, independent. Many academic terms.
Pronoun or example.
It is written there. Yeah. A sentence which starts with a pronoun will never be your first sentence. So out of those 2 sentences, port and river, if port, the sentence have the word port, let's say if that has a pronoun to start with, that will be your next sentence. Okay? Because what's the purpose of using pronoun? Why do we use pronoun? To replace noun. So if you see any sentence starts with a pronoun, he drives fast, for example. Who is this he? You have to find out that person first. That means you have to look for that subject. That means that noun. Okay? So your pronoun will never be your first sentence. There will be a person anyway. Right? What are pronouns? He, she, they, themselves, himself, ourselves, itself, ourselves. Right? Number 2. Discourse markers. Can you give an example? However. Therefore. Any other? Does, yes, does. So, hence, but, then. Yep. Moreover. Nonetheless, nevertheless, addition, additionally, in addition. Right? In conclusion. Alright? So if you find these discourse markers, the purpose of using discourse markers is to control the flow of the sentence. Okay? So if you find those discourse markers, starting your sentence, will never be your first sentence. These are the facts, pronouns, discourse markers. Look, if you want, let's say you want to go for you want to start a conversation with your friend. Okay? So you go to him and you ask him, hello, in addition to this. Or hi, moreover, this. Hello, however, this. You'll think he has gone crazy. Can you do that? Does it sound good? So even if you're doing a very informal conversation with your friend, you cannot start your conversation with these discourse markers. And this is a very formal and academic test. We'll never be starting with this discourse marker. Alright? Number 3, examples. Then again, you cannot start a conversation with examples. What's the point of giving an example?
Although it is discourse marker, we can start the sentence with always on sentence, and then we put comma and.
However, moreover, yeah, I'm coming to that. Yep, I'll show you. And examples, and again, you cannot start a conversation with example. The purpose of the the reason of using example is to validate your claim. So I'm talking about something, then I'm drawing an example to prove that I'm right. That is the point. So example will never be your first sentence. Alright? So if you see these sort of things, those will never be your first sentence. Now I'm answering your question. How do you know that these are the discourse markers? Check comma after the discourse markers. If there's a discourse marker, there will be comma after that. Not necessarily after but, then, or you can sometimes so. Right? But mostly, however, moreover, subsequently, in these sort of terms, there will be a comma after that. There is an exception. Look, both the sentences have started with however. But what's the difference? Can anybody tell me? Read it.
Yeah, the first one is discourse marker, and the second one is
The second one is what?
normal sentence.
Normal sentence. Yeah. But can you tell me why?
Because of the where you put it, however difficult it is, so it refers to something. Don't know how to make it.
It looks like a complete sentence. Both.
Which one?
Second sentence.
What is first one? Tell me. Why do you think this is a discourse marker? Obviously there is a comma, there's a sign of discourse marker, but what does it mean? However, I will climb Mount Everest. That means my dad forbade me to climb Mount Everest. However, I will climb it. I will do it. My friend told me you will never be able to climb Mount Everest. However, I will climb it. That means something is before. I'm just disagreeing to the fact, to that statement. Something is before. That's why there is a comma. That means it is modifying the whole sentence. That's what an adverb can do. What is however? It's an adverb. Right? It can modify the whole sentence. And then here it is also an adverb, it is modifying the adjective, difficult. Okay? But there is a simple sentence. So, a very easy way of looking at the discourse markers is there will be a comma after the discourse marker. But now, let's say if you find a reorder paragraph with this kind of thing, however difficult it is, I will do that. Okay? That is not a discourse marker. Even that may be your first sentence. Okay? But that happens rarely, very, very rarely. I would say 99% of the cases, you will find a comma after however. Right? If you kill somebody before going to the exam, you may have that. If you commit a crime before going to the exam, you may find that. Otherwise, no. If you solve 100 reorder paragraphs, you will find maybe one. Okay? Don't worry about that. So what we have learned from this slide is the sentence starts with the discourse markers with pronouns with examples will never be my first sentence. Okay? Now you can ask me, okay, out of those two pairs, if none of them have discourse markers, then what? There are some other clues. Number one clue. We can have a look at the article before the subject. That will tell me whether the sentence will come first or second. How? But can anybody tell me why do we use article or what are the articles?
So I will be specific.
Yeah.
You will be the general pair.
How do you know it is written there? It is written?
No, it says definite article and indefinite article.
What's the purpose of using article? Why do we use it?
Define
Specific or non-specific.
Not non-specific. To specify. Very good. We use article, we use the to specify. Okay? In my reorder paragraph or even in your summarization text, right? Your general sentence or general statement comes first, or the specific ones? The general one comes first, then the specific one. You start with broad view, then you narrow it down. Okay? So, look, if I say there are 40 chairs in this room, did I use any article? But did I specify anything? No. Even back of my mind, I actually haven't specified anything. We use this article every now and then in our sentence, but we never actually ask why do we use it. When I say we have 40 chairs in this room, it is very general, and I don't need to use an article. Now, if I ask my colleague that, can you please go and bring me the chair the teacher used? Bring me the chair the teachers used. Right? You know, back of my mind, I have used the before the chair. Can you tell, please bring me chair the teacher used? You can't even tell it. Automatically, the will come before the chair. Because we are specifying things. That's the purpose of using the. When you use a or n, for example, bring me a chair. That means I have specified that a bit. Although not definite, but I have specified that a bit, then the general. There are 40 chairs, and then I tell my colleague, bring me a chair, then bring me the chair that the teachers use. Is there anything that can be more specific than the or the? Let's say, let's go back to that example again. I asked my colleague, please go and bring me the chair that the teachers use. He came and he then went back. He told me, look, I can't find it. I got very angry, I got furious. I dragged him with me in the classroom in front of you guys. I told you to bring me this chair. Now what I'm using? This. Pretty much pointing out. Spoon feeding. Okay? So that can be more specific than the or the. So if you find two sentences, one has chair, the other one the chair. Which one comes first? A comes first. If you find a chair, which one comes first? After A? C. Right? So now, just looking at the position of the article, it tells you which sentence can come first, which sentence will go later. There's also a quotation. That means it is very, very specific. If you find a subject within the quotation mark, that means this is very, very specific. That whole sentence is very specific. Okay? So you have to find out those subjects. Let's say your paragraph talks about chairs, right? Find out those subjects, chairs or the chair or a chair, something like that. And just order them accordingly. Don't need to read the full sentence. Alright? Now there are some more clues. Out of those two sentences, if that talks about a person, your full name will come first and short name will come next. Or surname will come next. Okay? Let's say there is no article, there is no discourse markers. But now, if there is a name, your full name will come first, short name or surname will come next. For example, Donald Trump is the current president of the USA. Trump has recently visited Russia. Full name, short name or surname. It can also be B.P. Alright? Number 4. Creator comes before creation. That means the creator's name will come before the creation's name. Let's have an example. We all know about Mona Lisa, right? That is a photo, that is a portrait by me. So, portrait by whom? Leonardo DiCaprio? No. Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, so he created that art. So now, if my reorder paragraph has both the names, Mona Lisa and Leonardo da Vinci, that Vinci name will come first. We have to give him some honor. Bring him first, then Mona Lisa. Question is, if there is no name Vinci, then you don't answer? You come back to me and say there is no Vinci? Maybe the whole topic is about Mona Lisa. The whole reorder paragraph was about Mona Lisa, let's say. Alright? Then obviously you have to find out those clues. Article, then maybe there's a full name of Mona Lisa, or there are some other clues, maybe there is a sentence, however, that will not be your first sentence. Okay? Past comes before present. That means in your reorder paragraph, the earliest event of your life comes first. Then to present, till present, what you're doing today. Maybe. Okay? That means, remember I said you have to correlate those flow of information in terms of events. Let's say we're talking about fireworks at Opera House. So it started in 1945, right? Then something happened in 1960, something happened in 1990. Now it has drawn too many people's attention from across the world. Too many people come here every year, right? It's talking about 2000, what happened in last year, let's say. So you started from that 1945. Then what happened in 1960, 1990, all of them. Okay? Your present can be first in your life, but unlike your life, past comes first in your paragraphs. Remember that. Okay? Problem solution. Your problem comes first. What's the point of talking about solution without a problem? So when you find a real paragraph that is talking about global warming, which is a problem, you get those sentences first, which has the problem. Don't get those sentences first, which is talking about the solution. That will come later. Right? Idea, example. Your idea will come first, your example will come next. Question, answer. I don't need to explain that. Obviously, question will come first, then the answer. Right? Number 9. Flow of passage. I already have discussed about this. General to specific. Right? So general sentences will come first, then the specific discussion, you can say. Those will come next. Number 10. Identify the type of passage. In your reorder paragraph, you will find 3 types of passages. Or 3 types of questions. One is descriptive. Let's say it's about Sydney. It describes Sydney. Okay? If you can identify it is a descriptive type, you know that it will start with the topic. It will give some supporting information about the topic, which is not my main idea. Right? It may give you an example or not. It will give you a conclusion about that subject. If it's a problem solution based, okay, it will start with the problem. It will start with the problem. It will tell you what is the problem. What are the scientists are doing, to resolve that issues, blah, 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 blah. What has been done, maybe an example, and it will conclude with a solution. Or giving you a hint of solution. So if you find that it is a problem solution based paragraph, just don't put the very first line if it has a solution. That will come last. Okay? And if it's chronological type, let's say, it is about a biography, about a person, about Einstein. Right? That will go as the time frame. He was born in 1945, then he went to school in 1950. Okay? He did his master's, then he did his PhD, he did his research, then he died. Something like that. Okay? The earliest, then again, your past comes first. Right? The earliest event will come first. Okay? Now, just read these paragraphs and tell me whether it is in correct sequence or not.
Yes.
At the back? Yes?
No.
Right? It's correct? Incorrect? Very complicated. Because why?
But if you go for chronology, it's fine.
If you go for chronology, it's fine. It looks very good. But the problem is this, right? Life is not that easy. Right? Do you really expect that person to give you something 45, 65, 75, blah, blah, blah? No. It will try to trick you with distracting by something. Okay? So this is mobile phone, which is a new topic. I talked about computer. So sometimes your reorder paragraph questions can have 2 topics. In that case, you complete talking about the first one, you finish it, then you start the new topic. Okay? So now, if I give you a question to solve, what things you look at in that question?
I will present.
Yes, you can. Yes. In general, how would you start? Once you skim and scan, you know the type of passage it is.
Main idea.
Main idea. Then again, topic sentence. What's the point of telling all these things?
Finding out the pairs.
Exactly. You'll find out the pair. No topic sentence. If you find the topic sentence number A, then you take 5 minutes to think about B, and then you come up with B, which is not correct. You get 0 for finding topic sentence. You get no marks for finding topic sentence. Don't even go for finding topic sentence first. It will win you there. You can solve it if you take it home and solve all night. Obviously, you will come up with the right answer. But it doesn't give you time. Problem is a time constraint. Okay? You find a pair. How would you find a pair? By looking at some word clues, object, subject, articles, full name, short name, those past, present events, right? And then, when you find those pairs, you automatically know in that pair which sentence comes first. Okay? So AB is a correct pair. Now, as you have placed AB, let's say CD. So there are 4 sentences you have found this pair. Okay? Now the question is, how do you know that CD comes first or AB comes first? How do you know? Obviously, if you have good knowledge about topic sentence, you straight away know that this comes first. But there is another thing. How do you know that this answer is correct? Just verify the middle pair.
Length or
No? If your first pair is AB, your second pair is DE, whether you are right or wrong, the middle pair will say it. If your middle pair makes sense, because you actually didn't judge the middle pair. You have placed the first pair, then the second pair. Middle pair automatically is generated, right? So now, if your middle pair makes logic, that means you are correct. If your middle pair doesn't make logic, you change those position of the pair. Now check the middle pair, it will make logic to you. Or sometimes, let's say AD, AB, CD, right? Check the middle pair. If BC doesn't make sense, change this order. Make it DC. Now BD will make sense to you. 100% it will. So you have to check the middle pair to verify. Let's say I have given you a paragraph to solve. Your answer is AB, DC. His answer is AB, CD. How do I know which one is correct? Just check the middle pair. No, check the middle pair. If that middle pair makes more sense to me, this is correct. If that makes more sense, that is correct. The middle pair is like a back calculation. It will tell you whether you are getting 3 out of 3 or not. So when I said please verify your answer before finalize, means you check the middle pair. Alright? Can you do one together now? Yes. Please give me the answer. I'll give you guys 1 minute 30 seconds. ADBC. Any other answer? ADBC, and one of you got AC? ACDB. Okay. So good to see. You have started with a common sentence, which is good, which is my first sentence. Then ACAD, what came out? Okay. Look, so somebody handed him a gift wrap box, then you cannot say what came out because there is a sentence, they open the box. Before opening something cannot come out. AD, yes, then VC. There was a twist, the notes were all catered as notes could get, what came out? CV, you gave him a box, he opened it, something came out, there was a twist. Make sense? That is the answer. But now I want to show you something. So if you read every sentence, somebody gave him something, he opened it, something came out, right? The governor, this is a full form RBI governor, which comes first? A. Notes, D notes, it's an article, which comes first? C. How long it took? 10 seconds. Another clue, notes, that is an object which became a subject. Right? So if you just skim it and find out those subjects, the governor, those subjects, looking at the position of the articles, full form, short form. There is no discourse markers here, but I didn't take long to solve it. Right? Just be very vigilant. The better you are in finding those word clues, the quicker you will be in solving your paragraphs. I didn't connect D. Yeah. So look, I didn't connect DC. I actually connect AD. Then CB is my pair. Now, good question. How do I know my answer is correct? I'll verify the middle pair. Right? So how do you connect DC? The unsuspecting governor opened the box. What came out? Make sense? Just looking at the middle pair. My middle pair makes sense. That means I'm right. Okay? Let's do another one. Oh, sorry. Yep. Done? All of you? Answer please.
DBCEA. DBCEA. Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, same answer. Is there any other answer?
Yeah, my DBCED.
DBSCE, right? Is that your answer as well?
No, mine is DA.
DA,
CVE.
CVE.
That's why it's just
Okay, let's see. So start with D, which looks good. Okay, democratic answer. Okay, I don't dare to disagree with that. Then B or A. Whoever answered this A. Martin Luther King Jr. is well known for his work in civil rights. The Reverend Williams in Alabama. How do you even connect these two?
was very difficult.
Two different persons. Huh?
It was very difficult for
It was very difficult.
Yeah, but we tried.
Okay. So my other option is DB, B. Can you tell me why?
Modern.
ML. It is a full name and there's a short name. Very good. Have you looked at this? Have you looked at this?
DE should be the paragraph.
But what? Like I said, do you really think your life should be that easy? It will give you a very short name at the very beginning of the sentence. Look, the purpose of giving this ML here, I'll tell you why. Just to distract you. It started with a very big, you can say, no, it's a verb, so that's a part of the sentence, right? Then it started saying ML, as he was called, was born in 1929. Just imagine if the whole part wasn't there, and the whole sentence, if it was starting with ML, as he was called in the childhood, was born in 1929. Did you really think twice before putting that with the? No. So now, the question itself is distracting you by starting with something else, so you get the whole sentence. Oh, ML is here. But ML is there as well. And when you read it, ML grew up in this atmosphere. Does it talk about any atmosphere? It doesn't. Okay? So D and E is my past pair. And it is saying that he was born at his maternal grandfather's house. His grandfather, the Reverend Eddie Williams. So this sentence introduces his grandfather. Now it talks about him. The Reverend Williams, an eloquent speaker, played an important role. So that sentence also has his grandfather's name. But which comes first, A or E? E, because he was introduced here in this E. So now you know that E and A is a pair, and obviously E comes first. So you can place A here. Because E and A is a pair anyway, right? And then, talked about him, then he allowed his charge. Pronoun, that is C. The only left out sentence is B. I don't want to read it. But now if you read it, it will make sense to you. He was well known for his work in civil rights. He was born in his grandfather's house. His grandfather's name was the Reverend Eddie Williams. He was a very eloquent or influential person in the community. He allowed his people, he was living in a church or something, he allowed his people, he allowed the people of the society to come to his house for public gathering and have discussions about civil rights, right? Advancements of blacks. ML, because he was in his grandparents' house, he grew up in this sort of atmosphere. You know, we have people coming and discussing about the civil rights, which actually influenced in his life. Okay? Now, when you find that there are more than, there are two surnames or short names into different sentences, you have to make logic which can come, which can make a pair with this. Not just don't blindly select a sentence just looking at the. If there was no ML, obviously that sentence would have started with ML and it would have been something else. If that sentence wasn't there, right? Okay. Give me the answer of this in 1 minute.
Yeah.
DBCA, all of you? DBCA?
Yeah.
DBCA? BD? PD. So you're starting with the pronoun? Isn't the fact? DCAB? How did you even connect DC? There is a direct word clue, my friends.
ABCD.
NCP. Remember the WHO? There is another pair. Look, British market. Look, once you find these two sentences as a pair, automatically B and D is a pair, right? British market in European market, another clue. So now tell me one thing. Out of those, D and B or B and D, which comes first? D, because it starts with the pronoun first of all, and then at one time I was giving a seminar, and in that seminar we were discussing. So which is bigger? Seminar is the bigger part, right? So D and B. Then out of C and E, it starts with if. That means it is a conditional sentence. If and NCP became, that means obviously that is my first sentence. That can be my first sentence. Another clue is you initiated or you introduced NCP here. A company called or named NCP. You introduced that NCP here in C, so C comes first. C, A, BDCA. No, sorry, DBCA. DBCA is your answer. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this first. Yep, solve this one. Yes, top one. Top comes first, bottom comes next. Done? Answer?
BCCA.
Guys, when you solve it, please tell me your answer. Alright? Don't wait for me to ask you.
BCBA.
DCBA. Any other answer? DBSC?
CDBA.
CDBA? Go on. My goodness. BDCA? Any other answer?
ACBD.
You always come up with something new. SC?
I'm just joking.
So you started with if?
I'm just joking.
Alright. Okay. Is there a clue? What clue?
Full name short.
Beautiful. BD. What comes first? What is remaining? CN? A. How do you know that ANC or CNA? My friend, it's starting with if. It's starting with if. CA.
Why we start with the D? Yeah.
Why?
Because it got if also, but we consider the full name first, that's why?
That is stronger clue.
That's all.
So there is a before the additional rooms are.
If that's the subject of your reorder paragraphs. Remember, if you introduce the subject, there's topics and then okay.
I thought A would go first because A talks about.
First one, if, then, you,
Alright.
right? And if it was a question, for example, if you started with something, if you do this question, then it will give you the answer. Only then that would be your first sentence. Right? Look at the clues. Don't if you do research on this reorder paragraphs, it will never end. There will be a lot of debate. Have you trust on the word clues? Okay, because we have found out these strategies because these are academic piece of writing. There is a style and flow of academic piece of writing. You know that. That's how we have come up with the strategies. Okay, now if you want to really read every sentence and research on that, you can do that, but you will not get in scope. Right? And then again, look, I told you guys to verify the middle pair. Look. So my answer is DB, CA. If your answer was DB, AC, right? Verify the middle pair, BA. B says Marx thought that religion was the opiate if you are used to having a stimulation come from outside. Let's say I'm not sure whether it has the logic or not. Now check my middle pair, BC. Marx thought that religion was the opiate. Television and similar entertainments are now, is it more logical than the other one? Right? More logical. So my answer is correct. Alright? Any question? How many of you guys have solved it? 1? 2? You're joking or you're real?
No, it's real.
Yeah? Look, let's say we have, yes, you solved it.
Yeah. If has to come second,
Which one?
we're pairing A and C.
Yeah, CA is a pair. CA.
So if has to come second.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
CA.
So why in the other pair if can pair it up?
Because that is a subject, Karl Marx. Full name is a subject, introducing the subject. He gave a statement about your opiate thing, and then it is directing. If he was alive, he would have said that, and then what did he say? Right? It is directing the whole information.
And B and C comes first, right? Like what is general to.
Yeah, look, if you place what was my pair? D and B. Let's say you don't want that as a first pair. You want this and that as a first pair. Out of this and that, which sentence may come first? If it has more chance, we started with if, let's say. So you want to say CA. Obviously that this is a full name, is a short name. You want to say DB. Right? That's what you want to say. Say AD. If you are used to having a stimulation coming from outside, if Karl Marx was alive today, he would say that television is the opiate. There is no relationship, no television word, no opiate, nothing, no Karl Marx, nothing. So if you do this middle pair verification, you understand that your answer. Then again, so change the order. Alright? Now what I was trying to say is, if I give you a reorder paragraph to solve, if there are 30 students here, let's say 30 students, and 25 of them have solved that. What do you think the difficulty level of the reorder paragraph was? Easy, medium or hard? You can say easy to medium. If I gave you a reorder paragraph and only one or let's say 2 students out of 30 solved that, what is the difficulty level? Extreme. Okay? So do you think you should deserve same mark for both of them? Let's say my first question was given to you had 3 pairs. Second question that was given to you had 3 pairs. 78, let's say 80% of the students solved that. Only 5% of the students solved that. Which one carries more marks? This one carries more marks because this was more difficult. This is what we call item response theory. Right? It gives you mark in the terms of the difficulty level of the question. If 80% of the students can solve it, that means it is very easy. That repeat sentence is very easy. That's why 80% of the students solved it. But there was a repeat sentence which was very hard. Only 5% of the students solved that. That repeat sentence, that particular sentence carries more mark. Initially the marks are same, but in terms of the weighted average, it is multiplied by the difficulty level. Okay? Now, we'll do one last one together before we jump into individual practices. Can you see it?
Yeah. Can you make it bigger, please?
All clear?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, we need 2 more of these. Okay.
DACB.
D.
CDBA.
DACB.
CDBA.
AC.
Okay. Yeah, so some of you guys have started with D and some of you guys have started with C. Okay, alright. So you have made C and D a pair. Some made D and A a pair. But can you tell me why? So obviously CD is a pair for you guys, but how?
Because their Darwin argument and their Darwin.
Where?
You see in the paragraph C,
Darwin's argument that there are huge gaps.
Mhm.
And then in the D, it's like since Darwin's time have cleared up.
Okay, so it says since Darwin's time, it says today. Many years later, that means something happened before. Now, it says since Darwin's time and today. Which is the earlier event? Since Darwin's time, because that happened earlier. Look, it started with today, many years later, that means something happened before. So, D and C is my correct pair. You have got the relationship right, but that was the clue of the first sentence. Because that is an earlier event. Now, what is the next? Look, many believe that, others, however, believe that. So can I make C and A a pair? I make C and A a pair. I have B, right? I can blindly place B at the end, but again, if you are doubtful, spurts are spurt within the quotation. There is an article, so B comes after A. Is there any doubt? So B comes after A. My answer is DC, AB. Look, this is a very long Reorder paragraph. The sentences are very long, but I actually had figured out this one phrase, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Just 6 phrases. Or you can say 6 words, 6 group of words. So when you skim and scan, you don't need to understand the meaning. Obviously, you have understood maybe that's how you have got the relationship, but that didn't give you mark. You have wasted 2-3 minutes in thinking, but that didn't give you mark. Be smart, waste less time, be smart. When you skim and scan, try to find out those clues, try to find out those subject, the position of the article before the subject. You'll get it quickly. Okay? Now, who haven't got this? You need 2, right?
Yeah.
Start from page 1. There are 5 Reorder paragraphs. We'll give you guys 10 minutes to solve. So 10 minutes starts now. Alright. Give me the answer. BCAD. Any different answer? It has to be you. Is that a joke? Look, every time you say it's a joke, you raise your right hand. And when you say a serious, you raise your left hand. You know it. You're serious, right?
BDCA.
BDCA. So there is a story about a worldly man who was blah blah blah. So back by sundown to the point where he started. Late in the afternoon he realized what happened in the whole day. What happened? What is the earliest event? In the morning. Yeah. So the answer is BCAD. He kept going all afternoon, late in the afternoon. That was my first event. That is second. This one. CBAD. Okay. If there's a different answer, first person please. That is your answer? Okay. Now? That's my answer. Different answer, your left hand, let me see yes. Yes.
CDBAD.
Your answer? My man.
CBAED.
Yes.
CB?
AED.
Okay. Alright, that's enough. Started with C 6 years ago, the earliest event. What is a physically transferred reach to terms or move from? Okay, there was a manual thing. This situation caused delay. Obviously, what situation? It was doing physically, right? Physically transferring things from one place to another place. Opportunities, blah blah. Only reduced when the shipping container was invented. So CD is my first pair. Okay, I have a word clue actually. Invented, invention. So E. A, and out of A and D, it was also, that is, it comes later. CBEAD is the answer. CBEAD. First one. So most of you have got it right. Yep, that means it has less mark. There's nothing to be happy about it. Right? Imagine the first one, that was the easiest. Right? This one. CB. CB is not a problem. Problem is AD or DA. Answer is CBDA. Then again, your life event. He was born as a boy, as a student. His talent and devotion to the subject. If you place A after B, do you really think as a boy he was a bit of enthusiast for chemistry? He has a bit of interest about chemistry. All on a sudden, then his talent and devotion to the subject. He was just a boy. He actually went to school and college as well. He studied chemistry. And then his talent and devotion to that subject, that matters. Okay? Answer is CBDA.
I'm a bit confused because in B, the second sentence says those speeches fire the young chemist, whatever.
Yes, those speeches, yeah.
And then in A, we have to encourage him to attend a series of lectures.
Okay, don't think about that. As a student of CD, as a student at the City of London School, Martin became immersed in the study of chemistry. That means he started studying chemistry. Those speeches fired the young chemist enthusiasm. The lectures in the school. How do you know that these speeches, those speeches are dead? Simply speaking, these are the lectures he got in school. Those speeches fired the young chemist's enthusiasm further, and he later went on to attend the Royal College of Chemistry. Another clue. Royal institution. Where it is introduced first? In this sentence. That means it comes before that sentence. That those speeches were there to trick you. A lot of students make the same mistake. Right? Now it will be interesting. Yeah, okay.
DEBCA.
Okay, alright, I got it. CB.
DEBCA.
DCABE. Any other answer? DACBE. Alright. So you're starting with D, which is good. Okay, let's keep it in this. Okay. Alright, so you're starting with D, which is good. In the last decade, that is the earliest event. Now you have connected A, C, B. Or just E was left. Was there another option, D, E?
Yeah.
Yes?
DEBCA.
Okay, now D, E,
BCA.
B, C, A. Look, you have connected every other sentences with D. Lot of versatility. That was not the answer. I'm just trying to get that E option as well. Right? It was feeling left alone. The first sentence is D. In the last decade, a revolution has occurred in the way that scientists think about brain. Then you have connected briefly and iconoclast. No way. There is no relationship. Look, there was a very strong word clue which could have saved your time and answer. If you could identify that B and E is a pair because of the word clue, there is an object, there is a subject. You would never make the mistake of adding B with D. I tell you why you guys made the mistake. About brain? A brain. Then again, if life would have been that easy. A brain that can do this. What? What? Is there anything that it is referring back to that this?
No.
Nothing.
Very good.
In the last decade, a revolution has occurred in the way scientists think about brain. Then,
We know this.
We now know.
we now know another thing. We now know means we are at present now. In the last decade. 1, 2 about the events. We now know that the decisions human can make can be traced to the firing patterns of neurons in specific parts of the brain. Okay. Why didn't you just think about this? The brain. You have found out a brain, but you missed the brain. Obviously there was a clue, our brain comes before the brain, blah blah blah. But also there was a clue here as well. But that was a time thing. Look, like I said, if this wasn't there, it would have been a different sentence starting with a brain. That would have been related to D. But you have to consider that thing. Right? So D and C. Look, it doesn't say it doesn't say about any discovery. It says the scientists they had a revolutionary. A revolution has occurred in the way that they are thinking about brain. It doesn't speak about the discovery. What is the discovery? So I cannot add A with D because D is discovery. I don't know what is this. So what was the discovery? The discovery was this. Whatever you think, it can be traced by tracing your firing patterns of the neurons, by simulating or connecting your brain with some simulators, tracing your position of the neurons. So my D and C is my first pair. Now I can add A because this is my discovery. A. Now a brain that can do this. Look, my A and B is a pair, but how? A brain that can do this. What? A brain that is being able or that is able to do things differently from competitors. That is referring. This is referring back to that. So your answer is D, C, A, B, E. Oh, somebody got it correct.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
How many of you? 1, 2.
Up to now, all that.
You're scratching your head?
This.
Huh?
Perfect.
It will give you the highest mark. Now, what's the answer of this? This is very easy, guys. But you have different answers. Yes, that's D.
B-A-C-B-E.
Yes.
B-A-C-B-E.
D-A-C-B-E.
I guess yes.
Any other answer?
AC.
A-C. B-E. Then? No D?
No D.
No, I just forget it. It will be at the end. So
Should be at the end?
yeah, no rest of my time.
Okay. I can't take it because it started with it is. Did you just say me A, B, C, D or something? You just tell that?
I'll try to think about it. Yeah.
Look, it is pronoun. Don't start with this. Okay. And then, so this is my answer. Let's say D, a distinct dog, is a popular for a decoration. 1 million in South Asia. Fine, I'm fine with that. So that's a distinct dog. So what is it? It is an old Hindu tradition. Yes, I can take that. Also is known as Bindi, which is introduced here in the sentence. Now we may talk about that. The word Bindi is derived from, although they are rooted, yes, derived, also rooted from that Hindu tradition. Then an example comes first. D-A-C-B-E. My answer. How many of you didn't get it right? Okay. Still, it's better. 70% of you guys have got it. Okay? Now, do you feel your paragraph is not that hard as you thought?
Yeah.
Just imagine once you start practicing, it will be easier. It will be less time consuming for you. Alright, how would you practice? Why would you practice? There are some Facebook files. If you go to the Facebook group, there is a Reorder paragraph file which has 99 Reorder paragraphs. So once you are done with that, there are some more files you can come to us to review. Number one. Number two, you can practice in instant checkout. When you enroll, how many of you don't know what is an instant checkout? Okay. So when you enroll, an email is sent to you in about 24 to 48 hours. Okay? An email is sent to that. Email contains your two ID. Number one is your exam portal ID with the link. Number two is your instant checker ID with the link. You click on the instant checker ID to practice. Instant checker link to practice. Use your login ID and password. For exam portal, that is basically to give you a mock test and weekly tests. Okay? So now I'll just show you guys what is it.
25 minutes.
That is how it is. Okay? If you just log out, it will look like this. Yeah. It will look like this. You scroll down, you log in with your ID and password, and then you can practice your writing, reading, and listening. Right? We are trying to incorporate the speaking part as well to take some time. So you go to reading, as we have discussed about reading today. Go to reading, go to practice, then go to practice. It will ask you for your exam date. If you have booked it, give it. If you haven't booked it, give a tentative date. Go to practice. Like I said, there are 5 tasks, or 5 types of tasks. We have done reorder paragraph today. You go to reorder paragraph. Look, there are a lot of reorder paragraphs here. These are the titles of the reorder paragraphs. Okay? So, you can select any one of them. Let's say select this. Then click on this square red box. Okay? It will disappear. You can click on show hint if you are struggling to find the links, right? Simply drag and drop here, and it will give you an answer automatically. Good? Let's do it. Meanwhile, it cannot be starting with meanwhile, right? Most people, especially yes, can be local people call the flooding. I don't want to take that a moment. Then Tuvalu, I don't know. Maybe this one I can go with, right? Then it actually ended with this Tuvalu one, and then this is Tuvalu, object, subject. I can take that. Then about these two sentences, can meanwhile be my last sentence?
Yeah.
No, meanwhile cannot be your last sentence. That means something is still remaining. So I place that in the 3rd position. I place that in the last position. Let's check if you are lucky enough. Successfully, view score. 3 out of 3.
Solved it before. Maybe
Right?
you solved it before. So you got the answer.
Look, I did it. If you click here, these are the things that I've shown in the morning class and evening afternoon session. This wasn't correct, right? Because I just simply drag and drop it to show them because we have time. We still have 5 minutes. Okay, that's why we solved it together. Okay, every time if you solve it together, you will have more chances of being right. Okay, so you can practice those in Iowa. Any question?
Thank you.
How much?